Brian Hartline has officially taken the job at USF. Let's talk about it. So, as I was at school this morning, I get a notification on my phone from a family member that Brian Hartline had indeed taken the job at Southern Florida. I look it up. It is true. Quickly, I searched to see if he would remain for the college football playoff. Didn't really get an answer. It has now come out that, yes, he will remain with the team. This is very similar to Will Stein and Josh Tuitoli, the two coordinators at Oregon that are leaving to go to Cal and Kentucky and I think Cal. This is different than Lane Kiffin as he has left Ole Miss, Charlie Weiss going back. So we've seen that the coordinators are still staying for the rest of the playoff. It's just the head coach is leaving. And yes, it is very sad to see Brian Hartline go. But if you're gonna go, I think Juck on Bucks was saying today that, man, if you just waited one more year, you would have gotten a big Power 4 job. But if you wanted to leave this year, I understand. And what a place to go for Southern Florida. As we all know, the starting three receivers for Ohio State all come from SFE, which is a 7-on-7 camp, which is the South Florida Express. So him going to South Florida makes a lot of sense. The South Florida Bulldog or Bulls or whatever I think it's Bulls. They play in Tampa Bay Stadium, which Ibuka plays, so that's cool. They can kind of meet up. But yeah, it is good that he's remaining for the rest of the season. This is very hard probably on him as he's trying to balance playing the number 2 team in the country in the game of the century, a BCS national championship, in the Big Ten championship this week with Indiana. Then obviously with the playoffs, he's going to replace Alex Golish down at USF, who was also a Buckeye. He was a coach under Jim Tressel. Brian Hartline was also under Jim Tressel, so USF having back-to-back Jim Tressel Ohio State guys. One was a coach, one was a player. Because Alex Golish, he just took the job at Auburn. I'm going to put the video right here of all the recent coaching jobs that came out yesterday. I mentioned that video about Brian Hartline. Obviously not. Mystery has been solved as he is now going to be the head coach at USF. What does this mean for Ohio State? Well, signing day was today, and we saw as modern day receiver Caden Dixon-Wyatt, the 4-star, has flipped to USC, and then that's when we really thought, okay, his teammate Chris Henry Jr., he's talking about West Virginia, talking about USC, talking about Oregon. He's probably going to flip too. And you're like, well, Will Stein left Oregon, is going to go to USC with his teammate, because when Caden Dixon-Wyatt was committed to Ohio State, he talked about how he wanted to be, they were going to be together, because they were both committed to Ohio State. He goes to USC, and well, he's going to go to USC. Nope, Chris Henry Jr. stays home, I guess, kind of home. I think he used to live in Ohio, and transferred to modern day. And you can kind of say the curse is broken with the modern day high school recruits. I don't know. I mean, he transferred to there, didn't just go there. And then Caden Dixon-Wyatt, who was there, left. So I don't, maybe it's broken, maybe it's not. God, the sun's in my face. But yeah, even with him leaving, he is staying. Jeremiah and Carnell posted about it. There's been some concern about is Jeremiah going to transfer? No, Jeremiah is not going to transfer. He's not going to go to USF. And I don't think he's going to sit out his junior year. I really don't think that's going to happen. Carnell, he's leaving this year, so that doesn't really matter. But it was really about, some of these guys like Jameer Brown in the 2027-2028 recruiting class, are they going to decommit? And I would probably expect that. Day has been flawless on his hires recently with Patricia and Tyler Bowen, James Laurinaitis, even Brian Hartline back. Maybe Urban hired, I don't know, but he's been with Day the whole time. But Day has been phenomenal in ours. I can guarantee you that we will get another wide receivers coach. I mean, it's going to be the second best in the country. He's going to pluck the best wide receiver coach in the country that isn't named Brian Hartline from somewhere. But this is kind of, I'm not going to say the end of an era, but Brian Hartline was really the guy who separated the debate of wide receiver U. When you talk about wide receiver U, it's Ohio State, because of Brian Hartline. Jeremiah came because of Brian Hartline. So I don't think I don't think it's gonna be like Ohio State. It's gonna go back to kind of like Urban, where you had really good wide receivers like Devin Smith, and even like you have a guy like Michael Thomas and Terry McLaurin. I think it's probably going to go something like that. Maybe not all the way. I still think it's going to have very talented receivers, but I think the streak of having first-round talent receivers every single year is going to end. You had Garrett and Chris in 2021. 22 was Jackson. 23, or wait, no. 2021 was it? Well, so it was Garrett and Chris in 21. 22 was, it was Jackson. 23 was Marv. 24 was Ibuka. So that's 5 receivers in 4 years in the first round. It's going to become 6 with Carnell and then Jeremiah, and then maybe something that you can send him to 8. But this whole thing where we're going to have Jack, like, just over no first round draft pick, I think that's going to slow down. Maybe not a ton, maybe it's just a little bit, but I don't think we're going to see the same level of talent that we did with Brian Hartline without him. If Brian Hartline wasn't here, I don't really know if Jeremiah comes here. And I'm not worried about Jeremiah leaving. I just don't know if he's going to stay, if he would have came here. So I think Ohio State's going to be fine. I have no worries that we're going to have a talent issue. I really don't. I think we're still going to be recruiting 5 stars. You might just only have 1 5-star year instead of like 2, or like maybe you have 2 4-stars instead of like a 5-star and 3 4. So you know what I mean? So I don't know. Jameer Brown hasn't like flipped a commitment yet, but still. What does this mean for USF? Well, it means that I think you're going to have continuous success that you had from Alex Golesh. I will say I think Alex Golesh right now is a better coach than Brian Hartline. This is like the first year Brian Hartline's ever even called plays before. But I think Brian Hartline, the swag, the young vibe, the talent, he's all tatted up. So I'm not like going to be like, just because he's not going to be a great head coach doesn't mean that he's not going to be it in like a year. Give him a year or two. And if they were good enough for a while, if he wanted to stay there, which I don't think he's going, I think he'll be there for like 4-5 years. We could see USF maybe like elevate. If teams leave the ACC, we could see a team like USF elevate to the ACC. So, very exciting news for him. It's going to be a very hard time on him as he's going to have to balance life between USF and Ohio State. Very happy that he's staying with the team. I do wonder if would Ohio State be better off if he left just because it would allow Ryan Day to call plays, and you're like, well, Ryan Day calling plays before, it let us down some difficult paths because having your head coach play calling can kind of hurt. But that's kind of like a regular season problem. That's because in the regular season we're trying to improve, and you need the head coach to improve the team and improve the defense or the other side of the ball that he's not play calling, and having like play calling either the offense or the defense like Brett Venables does at Oklahoma, it's a distraction. But in the postseason, Big Ten Championship, in the playoffs, the canvas is already made. You're not really going to, you might get a little bit better. You're not getting much better. The team is what it is. And we could see something like that from Ryan Day. But I do think it's good that Brian Hartline is staying. It is very sad to see him go. We knew this day was going to come. I thought it was going to happen next year. I am really surprised that he left now. It's not his fault that he's leaving now. Brian Day said in his press conference today that it's not his fault. This is the calendar's fault. The calendar is really messing a lot of things up. But yeah, that is all I have for you guys right now. We're going to be having a video dropping later tonight of my first round mock draft. I've never done it before. So it's going to be fun trying to stumble around and do that. So if you want to see that, it's coming out later tonight. I will see you guys all later. Of course, subscribe. I want to get to 60 subs before the playoffs start. Hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. Are you surprised that Brian Hartline left, and what do you think is going to happen to Ohio State? I will see you guys all later tonight. And always, of course, thank you.